Welcome back, documentary. I feel like I have only been doing these videos when I am going through something tragic that I feel like is needed to be documented, but I apologize. It's not intentional. I should probably do a little more self-reflection with myself on here so that I can continue to grow and be the man that I know that I'm meant to be. So here is my new journal. Just got journals for all the girls at the office. So many changes have happened in the last bit of time. I feel like I don't do these videos when things are going well. And I do the videos, the short form videos, when things are kind of all over the place. A little short term and then longer term kind of communication with myself. So here I go. Today I have been struggling with the feeling of filling a void. I asked myself this question a lot today, and I was wondering, what is this void that I am feeling that I don't know how to identify? And the void was more of feeling confident, feeling significant, feeling special, feeling wanted, feeling loved, feeling worthy, feeling chosen, feeling enough, feeling successful, feeling excited, feeling number one, feeling purposeful, feeling powerful. So all of these things that I feel like I am not feeling, and there's this void. And so I sat in the shower today. I mean, I sat around all day kind of just thinking to myself, like, what is going on, dude? Where am I at with my life? And why am I just overthinking all of these things? I know I'm a good person and I know I am willing to work on this stuff that I need to work on, but sometimes it's hard to work on something if you don't know exactly what it is that you need to work on. And so, just to give you guys some backstory, we grew up poor in Detroit, and my family just always argued a lot. And I vowed to myself that I would be the best father and husband that I could be growing up. And I always envisioned myself not putting hands on my wife and not arguing with her verbally out loud and cussing her out and being mean that way. And I always thought that that was it. Now, that's really just physical and verbal abuse. And I did not think about it until today that there is other ways of abuse that I have been doing that I never really recognized. So I'll read you this journal entry for 8/9/2026 today. I just wrote this. So I have been in my head all day. I just thought about how as a kid I would have nightmares of my parents leaving me. These nightmares were filled with so much anxiety and stress that I would scream out loud in real life. I have not put it together that my insecurities I have in relationships is only because of those insecurities as a kid, and I have carried those this long. The feeling of not being good enough, proving my value, showing someone they are wrong, beating myself up, etc., kind of referring to what I mentioned earlier. It was all because I was a kid fighting for love and attention and found that I could not change the people I was around and loved. So I found if it isn't going good, it was my fault. And that's not always true. That's what I told myself. It is not always my fault. I am insecure or needy and jealous. I observed it growing up and just subtracted the physical and verbal abuse that Sorry, I sometimes cannot read. I took the physical and verbal abuse out. I could not identify with that. But I did not take into account the mental and emotional abuse that it puts on my partners. The fact is that my neediness was just another form of manipulation that I had never thought about or knew about. So I sit here today admitting and realizing that it's not okay. That this emotional and mental abuse of me being needy and jealous and insecure was straining, stressful, and bringing anxiety onto my partners, which is not cool. Because I'm wondering to myself, is like, why do I keep running into this? Is like, I have no problem attracting beautiful women that are outstanding and perfect. But then when it comes to having a long-term relationship, I always struggled with that. So this last relationship with Aubrey, I wanted to be as vulnerable as possible and work on those things as much as possible. And so I did. But during the relationship, we ran into some problems that I thought were not about me. It was more about my partner than it was about me. So I thought that I was good and in the clear. But once we overcame those problems and we started working on our relationship again, the old part of me that I forgot about came out and started showing itself again. And I did not know how to deal with this because it's been years that I even remember that this was a part of me that I forgot about. And so I just thought, no big deal. And I almost put it on my partner as if it was their job to fix this. It was their job to show up and show me what to do. It was their job to deal with it and help me out and give me the words of wisdoms to get over it. And it was their job to kind of be okay with things and just forgive me for feeling these ways. And that is not okay. And I totally did not think about how I was abusing and manipulating my partner instead of actually taking accountability, being vulnerable, announcing these things only as I'm working on them versus pinning the behavior, the reasoning, and the fear and doubt onto my partner. And so I'm sitting here today like, wow, what the fuck? It's very unfortunate. And the part I keep referring back to is that it's not my fault. I don't want to tell myself it's my fault why these things were happening. It's not okay, that's for sure, but it's not my fault. You know, I will take responsibility and I will grow on these things and I will be the man that I need to be in order for me to be the perfect person for my partner in the future. And as a man, I need to fix these needy, jealous, insecure part of myself because my partner does not deserve any of it, for one. But for two, I don't want to manipulate or abuse my partner at all. That is the one thing that I was scared of the most growing up, is abusing my partner because they did not deserve it. And that's why I find myself here now. So besides my partner obviously abusing myself, because if I tell myself it's my fault and I tell myself, hey, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, that's also abuse. So how do I navigate both keeping my self-reliance, but then also understanding my toxic traits while overcoming them, showing up as a new person, providing value, serving the people I'm around, and continuing to grow? So that's what I'm here for, to figure that out. For all the women that I've been in relationships with, I'm so sorry. They never deserve to be caught in the crossfire. It's very unfortunate. It's really sad that I even put them through that, but you know, it's not my fault, but it is my responsibility to change it as a man. So this needy, insecure, jealous part of myself, it was caused because I did not get that attention growing up, and I had family that left me and didn't give me the attention that I deserved as a child. And it is very unfortunate, but it's not their fault either. They were playing the hands they were dealt. They were showing what they were shown as a child, and they were reflecting that. It is my responsibility to make sure that I am not that person for this relationship. And for me to figure out on how to work on this so that I don't push this onto my partners. It's not impossible, to get rid of these traits. I always told myself that I was born this way and that I would stay this way, and that we go through waves and cycles and that it would come back even if I overcame it. And that is not true at all. That's such bullshit. That's what I told Aubrey. That's what I was telling her, is like, hey, I do get jealous sometimes and it's going to come back again and you're going to have to deal with it again. And that is not true. That is so far from the truth. That is just me making an excuse to my poor behavior and putting it on my partner for them to deal with and put up with. And that is just not okay. They do not deserve to have to put up with that. That is so bad. That is so sad. So what am I going to do about it? One, I'm going to continue to be vulnerable with myself and kind of peel back the layers to see why I'm operating the way that I'm operating, to kind of pull that back and really fully understand what it is that I am missing, that I told myself I was missing, in the self-limiting beliefs that I have told myself for this amount of time. And then, one, let go of those beliefs. If I can understand what they are, then I can let go of those beliefs. If I don't know what they are, then I can't. And I know I'm not going to get everything, but at least the ones that keep me from becoming the man that I need to be within a relationship. At least the needy, jealous, insecure part of myself that I know that I'm not. And that's the crazy part, is I know that deep down I am confident and I am secure. And just when I'm faced with myself, I start to put myself in this deep panic and start abusing my partners. It's happened in the last 4 relationships I've been in. I didn't even notice. I didn't even know I was abusing them. I thought that I was okay and I was just doing what my heart felt. And it is totally manipulative. It's like a kid crying in a bed waiting to be picked up. That attention is just negative. And if you can't grow up from crying in a crib, what makes you think you're worthy of being a man that deserves a loving, fulfilling, and serving relationship to not just yourself and the other person, but to the universe and God? So, peeling it back, stripping it away, and replacing it with what God says about me. Not chasing it, but replacing it. There's so much wasted potential because of these things. And I always thought that I was an exception to the rules, that I knew what I was doing and that I didn't have to think about these things. So, as part 1 of this growth, I have probably 3 points that I will give to myself right now. 1 is read 3% Man. At least 10 times within the next 3 months. Two, I need to be physically fit in order for me to fully be myself and show up healthy every day. Because if I cannot do that part, then I cannot show up for my partners and or my business. So I have 4 parts I'm competing with Jack on, and One of them is PR bench, PR squat, PR 5K, and weight within the next 6 months. So within this next week, I will get my PRs to see where I'm at, weigh myself, see where my weight is. Strip the limiting beliefs, replace them, not chase them. It's 3. I think within the next 30 days, what is today, the 10th, the 9th? The next 30 days is to strip all limiting beliefs and replace them with my new identity. Okay. I don't know what that looks like. So there's a quote. I'll have to write it down, but I don't know the quote off the top of my head. I think it's, "I am a king being trained, in order for me to be the leader for my future family, something like that. But hopefully you guys hear from me again soon.